Hey, what is going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you. What an exciting time to be in the digital asset space. You got to love what's going on right now. So Bitcoin did a little bit of a comeback, if you will. That's cool. Ooh, that is cool to see for sure. Always nice. So here's the deal, guys. I don't know. Gary Gensler, is this dude a friend or foe in the digital asset space? Is he friend or foe to crypto? I think he's a friend. I think he's a friend. We're going to get into that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And listen, make no mistake about it. When the head of the ECB is talking about regulating Bitcoin, yeah. When she's talking about regulating Bitcoin, that she didn't just come up with that one, woke up one morning and said, look, this has already been talked about and discussed. It's just her letting the world know that is coming. In my humble opinion, this is just letting the world know that it's coming. Right? I mean, it is coming for sure. It is coming for sure. Alex Mashinsky out there on Twitter. Hey, be prepared. Get your dry powder ready. Keep that cash on the side because Bitcoin's going to come down. We shall soon see. Some people calling for sideways and then up. Alex Mashinsky says he believes it's going down. So I guess we'll see. I'm going to take his advice and kind of hang out on the sidelines a little bit with some cash, hoping to get some more 4 for $1 and 5 for $1 XRP, hoping to perhaps get some reserve protocol on the in that 1 to 2 cents range, maybe 1 cent. That would be even cooler. So we shall see how that is going to go. Really excited about that project and the potential there is. By the way, there is a Flare community video out on the Flare community channel on YouTube, kind of explaining what the Flare Time Series Oracle is about and how you can earn some passive income participating in that particular ecosystem. So shout out to that dude for putting that together. He does some really good videos. Make sure you guys check them out. So what is going on? Who checked in first? Andrew L is here. What's up, my friend? Good to see you. Dylan Dartsville is in the building. BK is in the building. All right. BK is in Brooklyn. All right. Fabio is here. What is going on? Yeah, that is a bombshell. Big John is in the building. Good to see you, brother. Eric Walker, good morning to you. Michael Cummings, what's up, Siege? What's up with you, brother? Good to see you. So the market's recovering a little bit. That is always good. Richard Francis here. Hello. What's up, bro? Baby wavy. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. How are you, my friend? You need the XRP to dip. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it at all. I kind of expect I expect it. I really, really do. Crypto Siege, I am confused where the new SEC guy sits on XRP. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit. People claim he's crypto friendly, but then there's video of him saying he considers XRP as a security. I am confused. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of how he looks at it and how he feels that operated. It doesn't matter now, really, ultimately, because look, the lawsuit has been brought. We're going to get the definitive word on it. And he said it was kind of his opinion. I don't know if he's changed. I think he was, that video where he says a currency. I think he was just using that as an example. I think his views have not changed. And I think he believes back in 2018, at least, maybe it's changed now, but in 2018, I don't, he was pretty, but again, that was according to the Howey test. And so this is the thing that I think is the most important is can the court system, will they say, this test is outdated and there needs to be a new test that is applicable my goodness, applicable. Why can't I say applicable to the digital asset space, right? Look, they got a new division over there, the SEC, to look over crypto, CFTC, and looks like they're kind of doing the territorial battle there to see who's going to kind of oversee this space. So a new test for today's new financial system. It only makes sense because this is where we're going, and I think that we'll get that. I think we'll get a new way of looking at the digital asset space in terms of ICOs and what Ripple and its business model is doing. So that would be the home run if we get the quote unquote Ripple test. If we get a new version of the Howey test that applies today to the digital asset space. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think. Yeah, it's King is here. Good morning to you. Palil Krishnareddy, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Chris HQ Crypto's in the building. Brooklyn, all right. Good to see you. Good to see you, bro. So that's kind of where we are with that. We're going to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to look at the market real quick, see what's going on. Looks like Bitcoin is at 34,500, right? And so 1,000 is 1,000. Ethereum is over $1,067. XRP is 29.9 cents. Litecoin's at $138. Cardano's at 29 cents. Bitcoin Cash 477. Right, so that's kind of, it's in that range now. Stellar Lumen's 29 cents. Link's $15. Binance Coin's $38. Right. So I'm planning on, me personally, right? I'm planning on it going down eventually. We'll see. Eric Jenkins, good morning to you, my friend. Good to see you. Oh, Pali is probably Pali. Good morning, sir, from India. Wow, thanks for checking in all the way from India, Pali. Appreciate you being here. Andre Hayes, if the U.S. determines as a security, Richard. Gotcha. How you doing, Andre? Good to see you. Designs 85 is here. Good to see you. Nope, never heard of either one of those, my friend. Jackie J, the shakeout is real. Indeed, it is, my friend. It really, really is. Siege, how do you feel about the rumors of Brian Brooks leaving the OCC? I mean, a new administration is coming means new people in certain places. Yeah, I'm saddened that he's not going to get the permanent gig there. It doesn't look like he's going to get the permanent gig, Michael. But I am. I'm curious to see where he lands, where he ends up. I mean, I'm really, really curious to see. I think he enjoys this space. I think he sees the potential of where this is going, where it can go. And so hopefully he'll be in another position that he can help to move the space forward, right? So we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see who Biden puts in place. It really is. It's going to be really, really interesting to see. I did watch a video with Gary Gensler where he said, I'd like regulation, but I'd like to see, places be able to perform and operate. So, so maybe he'll be more open to the sandbox, right? Regulatory sandbox is like something like Hester Peirce has suggested. Maybe he'll be open to something like that. So we'll see. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already on the way in. I definitely appreciate that. So that's kind of the word. We're going to go over a little bit about that. I think, look, if Madame Lagarde is talking about regulating Bitcoin and, obviously everybody's going to use money laundering. Everyone's going to use it. But I think if she mentioned that, For me, if she mentioned it, this is something that they've been discussing, and it's, it's a, to me, that's telling us it's coming, right? To me, to me, that's saying it's coming, right? And go over a couple of articles here. Let me find it first, and then I will share, because that's what it sounds like to me. Regulation for Bitcoin is coming. And I'm not sure how people just don't get that. European Central Bank Christine Lagarde called on Wednesday for global regulation of Bitcoin. So let me see something here. Let me do this. Let me share the screen. We'll go over this a little bit together. I just think, shout out to XRP Joker for sharing. I've seen several people share this today. ECB's Lagarde calls for regulating Bitcoins. Yeah, the funny business was, that was a little hilarious. So European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde called on Wednesday for global regulation of Bitcoin, saying the digital currency had been used for money laundering activities in some instances, and that any loopholes need to be closed. How are they going to do it? Who are they going to call? What are they going to do? How do they do it? Is it the on and off ramps? How are they going to do it? They're going to figure it out. It can easily get on a ledger, but how are they going to put stuff on a ledger? What's that going to look like? What's that all going to look like? Because regulation is coming, and yeah, it's not looking great for those who are solely into BTC, and who want these views. They want this ideology that they believe comes from Bitcoin. Not going to be happy. So we'll see. Bitcoin has come out of its niche in recent years and now is brought by ordinary people, investment funds, and even large corporations. Some have even taken loans to buy more of the crypto, whose values increased almost tenfold. Okay, that's good. This is what she says. Bitcoin is a highly speculative asset, which has conducted some funny business and some interesting and totally reprehensible money laundering activity, Lagarde said in an interview at the Reuters Next conference. Interesting stuff. There has to be regulations, she says. That this has to be applied and agreed upon at a global level. Because if there is an escape, that escape will be used. Oh, let me see if I have that video. Yeah. There were so many videos I've heard today. Why don't I have any? Darren Moore putting one out. Let me go to Darren Moore's. I know he did one. And it's funny too, because he says she looks frustrated. Like, why? Why does she look frustrated? There it is right here. Let's play it. He says, watch how flustered. Watch how flustered she is. For every action, there is a reaction. Bitcoin appreciating in value means regulations are coming. Bank XRP shared this. ECB President Lagarde called for global regulation of Bitcoin, saying the digital currency had been used for money laundering activities in some instances and needs to be regulated at international levels. Let's take a listen to her. Hopefully this will play correctly.
Taking place that I'm sure that you authority. It is a speculative. It's a speculative asset by any account. I mean, when you look at the most recent developments upward and now the most recent downward trend, for those who had assumed that it might turn into a currency. Terribly sorry, but this is an asset, and it's a highly speculative asset, which has conducted some funny business and some interesting and totally reprehensible money laundering activity. I think that there are criminal investigations that have taken place that I'm sure will continue to take place that demonstrate it very clearly. And there has to be regulations, and this has to be applied and agreed upon. It's a matter that needs to be agreed at a global level, because if there is an escape, that escape will be used. So I think it needs to be if anything, it shows that global cooperation, multilateral action is absolutely needed, whether it's initiated by the G7, moved into the G20, and then enlarged, but it's something that needs to be addressed. And FATF is clearly an organization that has expanded in that respect.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that? Listen. Yeah, that's not, again, I'm not sure why people thought that this space was not going to get regulated. I don't understand how anyone could think that. It's going to be interesting to see, what does regulation look like? What does that look like? Right? What does that look like, right? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Look, if you're an XRP hodler and you hold other digital assets, if you've always realized that you wanted the whole space to win, and if you weren't in this camp where it's BTC and all you need is BTC, you want regulation. You want a measure of regulation. The current monetary system that you and I all enjoy today is regulated, right? I mean, I think the bad guy thing is always just an easy way to do something, but bad guys do exist, right? You know what I mean? I bought Charlie's Bags is here. What's up, my friend? I just think that, it's coming, and I don't know, I don't know what that's going to look like. It's going to be interesting to see what that looks like. But man, oh man, again, for me, if she's saying it, they've already talked about it and they all discussed it, and maybe they'll have further talks about it. But it's not about whether they're going to regulate Bitcoin. It's how they're going to regulate it. It's how they're going to regulate it, right? That's the key, right? It's how they're going to regulate it. It's going to be the question, because it's coming. Regulation is coming for sure. And again, for us, as XRP hodlers primarily, right? We've been wanting, we've been dealing with regulators and trying to get this space moving forward, knowing full well that, governments are not going to let any kind of digital asset or a new asset class just run out there wild doing their own thing. It's just not, we all get that it's about, certainly some of that is about money, if not most of it, right? How can they get their share? But that's just how the world works, right? And I don't believe it's, I don't believe that it's going to change. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking. So that's some interesting stuff there, for sure. So guys, listen, what do you think? I'd love to hear what you think. BTC and this thought from Madeline Lagarde talk about regulations. What do you guys think? You think we need it, or you think we don't need that? What are you guys thinking? We need it or don't need it? I think so. I think we will need it. What do you guys think? Let me see if I can find any of these videos of Gary Gensler. Oh, hold on one second. Hey, what's up? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. So what is the deal there? What do you guys think? Let me see what you guys are saying here. Yes, we need it, Yaz King. DoorDash. Yeah, we'll see what they're going to do with that escrow, Andre. We'll see what's going to happen with that. I mean, it's cryptographically released, right? It's in the escrow. They can't get to it. I mean, every month, I guess they could burn every month. You know, that type of deal. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. I was thinking the same thing. I bought Charlie's bags. How do they burn it? How do they burn it? That's a great question. I don't know. All right, let's get into Gary Gensler. Friend or foe of the digital asset space? I think he's a friend. I do think he's a friend. I think that's important. Let me find this here. This guy was asked. Here's Gary Gensler being asked about XRP as security years ago. Fall of 2018, apparently. You guys want to listen to this? Let me share this. Let's listen to this guy.
Back to the Howey test.
The big live X-current is the big live X-current is the thing that they're using most right now, and that's just an alternative for Swift that doesn't even use their coin.
So Hugo was asked about the token XRP and whether I think it's a non-compliant security. I've spoken publicly. Yes, I do think it's a non-compliant security. But this will not be resolved just by the Securities and Exchange Commission. It will be resolved by some courts, whether it's appellate courts or the Supreme Court. So what I believe is just that, it's a belief. But why would I say that? I think back to the Howey test. I think they are exchanging XRP. Ripple, the company, is exchanging XRP for something of value. And they're using it right now. They sell it every month. It's in a lockup. There's in an escrow, and they sell XRP every month. Ripple, the company, initially did the Genesis block back in 2013, but kept 80% of the tokens. Now they have about 60% of the token, but they sell it on a continuous basis, 100 million to 200 million or so a month of value. Two, I think it is relying on a common enterprise. I think Ripple, the company, XRP investors are very much relying on Ripple, the company. And that if Ripple, the company, went away, as you noted, there's not much use of XRP. In fact, for the first 3 or 4 years, or 5 years even, there was no use, and then they prototyped something called XRapid, XCurrent, the main product of Ripple, the company.
Thank you.
A messaging and apparently a clever one that's competing with Swift, but XRapid, the prototype, doesn't have a large community right now. So it's highly centralized around Ripple, the company, the development, the node network, the ownership is 55 or 60% owned by them. They're promoting it as such, but it will be settled in.
Good stuff there, right? I mean, this is a guy that's pretty familiar with what's going on. I'm pretty familiar what is going on, right? And again, this is in 2018, and his numbers are fairly correct, right? And so it's 2020, and listen, I was listening to the Modern Investor, all right, 2016, especially in 2017, I would say more so, and he was saying, that back then he was saying this, that Ripple, it feels like Ripple, the company, has been meeting with people, whether it be from the SEC, whether it be his own law firm, that they have been meeting with people and have been given guidance to make that's themselves and the platform more decentralized, and to make XRP look more and more less like a security. As you said this in 2017, right? The Modern Investor, the one as a crypto YouTuber for sure is the Modern Investor, TMI, right? He has a channel, and you definitely want to check him out, right? He's, and this is what they've been doing, right? So the numbers that he spoke of is, that Gary speaks of here, 80% is now nowhere near 80%, right? It's closer to 50%, right? As far as what they quote unquote own, right? And then the UNL numbers, again, right? Those aren't the numbers any longer, right? They've been working and working and working to change those numbers. So, but it's been a process, and it takes time, right, to do it. And this is what they've done. So, I mean, the SEC's argument is going to be, it's tough to win, right? It's going to be tough to win because, look, they, if they want to try to go back, I just don't know if the court's going to say, well, I don't know. You knew about it back then. Why are you waiting till now, right? The way it's operating now, right? So doesn't look like it's a security, right? And so that's kind of what's going to happen. Ultimately, like he says, it's his opinion, and the courts will decide it, right? Not just the SEC, but the courts will decide it. And I believe that's what's going to happen. Well, no, I don't know about that. I don't know if we'll have a settlement. If this guy's going to be the new SEC, we'll see. We'll see how the settlement thing is going to work, if it's going to work. We'll see. If this thing may go all the way to the end. My guess is that lawsuit is not going to go a year. That's my guess. That's my guess. So we'll see. We'll see how this looks. But I don't think so. But that's an interesting perspective. So obviously he's pretty up to date. This is at MIT, right? Right. So, I mean, he's teaching a course there, and this is what they're asking. So I find that to be very, 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 very fascinating that he went there, right? I don't think Mnuchin is a friend of digital assets. Richard France. Right. I bought Charlie's facts. A belief does not make it. I bought Charlie's bags. Correct. A belief does not make it a fact. Correct. That is exactly right. And he said that, right? It's just my belief. He says, well, he said that he believes that XRP holders are dependent upon Ripple to get any value in XRP, that it is dependent upon Ripple, the company. That's what he said. That's what he sounded like he said to me, John. Good to see you, my friend. John 3:16-20. Edward Benson is here. How are you, my friend? Yeah. Oh, yeah. When the lawsuit settled, XRP will definitely break its all-time high because look, the settlement is going to give, hopefully, it's going to give some type of clarity. I mean, just being out of the lawsuit and not having to deal with the lawsuit, right? And settlement is right. That's two people. It's not one saying, you know, they have to agree, right? So Ripple and Brad and Chris, they're going to get what they want from this. And they're not going to walk away from the table without getting it. Will they get all of what they want? I don't know. I don't think either side will get all of what they want, but Ripple certainly is going to get what they want. And the biggest thing they want is tell us what's the rules here? What's the deal? And we can operate in that manner, right? So, and once they get that, it's over, in my opinion. Right? So that's ultimately what's the deal, right? That's the thing that we're all waiting for, is for that, right? That's the thing that we're waiting for ultimately, right? So if we can't get that, you know, they're going to just continue on to the next place and to the next place and next place until, you know, if it has to get to the Supreme Court. But I don't think that it will. You know, I just don't think that it will. I think that both sides want to come to an agreement sooner rather than later. I really, really do believe that. And I think that's what's going to ultimately happen, right? Let's see if there's anything more from this Gary dude. Here's Alex Mashinsky, by the way. We are going lower with BTC. Get dry powder on the sidelines and re-enter at 18 to 24K levels. While record people are joining Bitcoin, the selling pressure from miners and liquidations will intensify. I want Bitcoin to go high as all of you, but we may need to go lower first. Now, this is another lawyer kind of chiming in on the Gary Gensler. James K. Fillon says here, defense lawyer, former federal prosecutor. No legal advice here, it says in this thing. Regarding Gary Gensler, I don't think we can even guess what might happen. And enforcement actions pending. Other agencies have said XRP is a currency. That will be a specific legal issue in the SEC case. Let me say it again. That will be a specific legal issue in the case. And what he's saying is other agencies have said XRP is a currency. CFPB, right? Other agencies. That will be a specific legal issue in the SEC case. But there are so many moving parts here. Major questions, doctrine and answers to questions that have vast economic and political significance. I wonder why that is. Why is there political significance in this case? You ever think about that? This is one of those answers. It's more than just the SEC. It's more than just the SEC. other countries have determined that XRP is not a security. Again, this is an attorney and former federal prosecutor. Other countries have determined that XRP is not a security. The United States is not going to answer this question without considering the international consequences of its decisions. Again, good old US of A company with technology that can change the world, not only in cross-border payments, in other ways as well. A technology, because it is open source, any nation can use it. And I just don't see how the United States is going to say, freeing up Nostra Voce, freeing up trillions of dollars in Nostra accounts, 3 seconds versus 3 days, 3 to 5 seconds versus 3 to 5 days. Now we're good. You guys go, Germany, you go ahead. Europe, you go ahead. The UAE, you guys go ahead. You guys go ahead. We like the friction. We like having our trillions of dollars tied up. We like having lack of the velocity of money. You guys go ahead and take advantage of what this technology has. We're not going to do it. It's a security. Do you see that happen? I just don't see it happen. This is one of those answers. It's more than just the SEC. Other countries have determined that XRP is not a security. The US is not going to answer this question without considering the international consequences of this decision. I believe there are forces and considerations at work here that we probably don't even know about. I think we have to be patient and let Ripple work on this on all these fronts. And again, regulatory, political, public policy. This is not Dogecoin, right? God bless the Dogecoin community. This is not some smart contracts platform. I'm sorry. It's bigger than that. This is not DeFi or DeFi token, let's say. This is not Polkadot or Aave or Compound or MakerDAI. This is bigger than that. And they know it. They know it. And the second it became open source technology, it became political, in my humble opinion. The second they made that open source, it became political. Because Japan is not going to wait for the good old US of A. Japan has made, in terms of a decision on what XRP is, in terms of its decision that they're going to use XRP. They may have agreed to wait for the USA to make a decision, whether they're going to move forward together or separately, but they haven't waited on the decision to deem XRP a currency and the fact that they're going to use it. The fact that the G7 nations have not, multilaterally decided to move forward yet is a very, very, very interesting dynamic. But trust me when I tell you, they have made a decision on the advantages of using the technology. Central banks have, G7 nations have. Trust me when I tell you that. They already know. They're not going to pass. They all agree on cross-border payments. They might not use XRP for any other reason, but they all agree that cross-border payments is a challenge, is expensive, it's slow. They all agree. And if they got this technology that is open source and is available, and that they have a company with the chairman and a CEO and a marketing officer and a bunch of developers and a CTO that they can call upon to help them put it in place so that they can change their cross-border situation, cross-border payment situation, they are going to do it. They're going to do it. It's not, right? They're going to do it. Mr. Yoshitaka Kitao would not have moved forward with Ripple if he didn't understand that the major nations of the world was going to take advantage of this technology. If you're sleeping on the central banks and what they're looking to do, I suggest you wake up. It's happening. CBDCs are coming. Stable coins or not, doesn't matter. They're coming. They're coming. And the central banks are not going to work with the people from Bitcoin because they can't get a hold of them. XRP and its blockchain, XRP ledger, if you will, was the second player in the space. The ledger was designed to be 2.0, a Bitcoin 2.0. Central banks love that they can give someone a phone call. Central banks love that they can bring on this technology without them having to roll up their sleeves and get to work on it. This is what they have in Ripple, and they understand it. They understand it. And when you get people from the WEF, from the IMF, and Madame Lagarde, when she was there, from the CFPB, all acknowledging the prowess, all acknowledging the advantages, this is good news, right? This is good news for central banks. So it's just a matter of time. So just think about that. Legal and international relationships, etc. Think about that. He's adding in there. Legal and international relations. This is bigger. You know, I'm sorry. It's just bigger than Cardano. It just is. This is bigger than Cardano. I, for one, am not letting go of my XRP, says James Fallon, defense lawyer and former federal prosecutor. But in making that decision, I'm reminded of the line from The Boxer. A man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. I'm keeping the faith. Shout out to this dude. Let me give this dude a follow. Give this dude a follow, right? And to me, guys, that's the bigger picture. And I just, you know, I mean, it's just a bigger picture. And I say this on the channel all over and over and over again. When it comes to crypto and the digital asset space, when you're talking to the alphabets of the world and the G7 nations of the world, and the G20 nations of the world, the WEF, the IMF, the BIS, who else? The UN. When you talk crypto to the ECB, this is what they hear. Right? But when you talk cross-border payments, look, the eyes, ears start, right? They begin to listen because they all agree that that's a problem. They all agree that it's a problem. I'll say it again. They all agree that it's a problem. And it's one that they want to address. They want to address the issues in cross-border payments. They're not being nudged or backed into some corner to, right? They're not being nudged gently in their back or forced into a corner to make a decision and address the issues of cross-border payments. They run to it. They want to get it solved. They want to get it solved. That's why this dude here, James, is saying about the political and international relations aspect of this. It's just bigger. It's just bigger than other digital assets. You know, it's just, look, it's a bigger challenge. It addresses everyone. Smart contracts doesn't address every nation. Every nation doesn't have to get involved in leveraging the advantages of a smart contract. Cross-border payments they do, because it affects everyone, not just you and I and your next door neighbor. It affects governments of the world. It affects banks of the world. It affects businesses of the world. It affects everyone. Right? What's going on, Jason Master Pietro? How are you, my friend? Good to see you. You're checking in from NYC, are you, bro? Good to hear you, man. Good to hear that. Good to hear that. Appreciate you checking in today, man. Oh, how about that? I didn't see you say that here. Jason said, once 2 of my banks sent me official letters stating if I don't claim that I own crypto, or they will close my accounts. I knew regulation is coming and crypto is going to the moon. There you go, bro. What part of NYC? You talking Manhattan, Jason? Where are you checking it from? SaturnNet is in the building. What's going on, SaturnNet1? Good to see you. TJ Jackson is in the building. What's up, bro? Guys, 44 people on the stream. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe. Get this out on Twitter, if you will. Just retweet the Crypto Siege is live. I would definitely appreciate that. We want to get more of us in this space. I've always said it. This channel is about bringing more of the average Joe and the average Jane into this space. We need them to win. We all want to win. We need a new elite. We need a new 1%, right? We need a new 1%. So let's make sure people know that the stream is live, that we're doing our thing, because we want, again, this is our chance to win. Chrissy Fouts is in the building. Hey, miss, how are you? Good to see you this morning. Yeah, the UK has declared XRP is not a security, right? There you go, bro. You're a smart dude. I bought Charlie's bags. International considerations, right? We're doing business together. The US of A and UK. We're doing business together. Japan and the US. We're doing business together. You see what I'm saying? International considerations. Again, XRP and that XRP ledger, it's just, it's just bigger than EOS. It just is. It's bigger than that. You guys understand what I'm saying? Right? Yeah, look, UK is like, man, this thing is awesome, man. This thing, woo, fast, what? Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. I don't have to fund in these no-share accounts with all the other people that I'm doing business with, other nations that I'm doing business with. Cool. It'd be nice if the US came along so that we have a standard thing kind of going on. That's what James is pointing out. International consideration. You're right. I bought Charlie's bags. Level playing field. I don't know. You just got to think. Here's a question. Are we gonna continue to hang out in the 3 to 5 to 7 business days for money to be reached in the US? Or are we going to go the route of 3 to 5 seconds? It's not just about you and I sending money. Again, small businesses, SMEs, right? FIs, banks, central banks, governments, They're all involved in cross-border payments. Let me say that again. They are all involved. They're all involved. And again, I think James laid it out clearly. The United States is not going to just sit by and just not consider the political, right? The political, the financial, all the other different aspects. TJ Jackson, did you see that where I read that from that attorney, bro? I mean, it was good stuff. Astoria, Queens, we're checking in from the Dominican Republic right now. Cheers, brother. Great content. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. Astoria, Queens. How about that? Appreciate you being here. So, I mean, that is the deal, man. I mean, that ultimately, guys, that's the deal. And so I know it's a little scary right now. It's a little like, man, what in the wide world is going on? But ultimately, it's bigger than that. And the U.S. is not going to just lose. They're not going to just stay in this slower system, monetary system. They're just not. So it's just, you know, the settlement, however that looks, it looks. I think one of the best sayings is when BK says, we need this, but they need this more than we need it. And think about how much we need it to happen. But they need it more. And that's the ultimate thing, cross-border payments. Trevor LeConte says, new to the space, love the show. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Trevor. I appreciate you being here. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, brother, if you haven't already. Right? And that's the bottom line. And that's how we're really in a blessed spot. But think about this, you know, the greater the challenge, the bigger the reward. I truly do believe that. You know, the UK coming out with this XRP is not security. It's big. Because they're saying to the US, we are going to use this technology. We're going to let it trade. We're going to use it for transactions. We're going to let our local businesses and our local banks use this. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. You know, ultimately, you know, trust me when I tell you that the nations of the world have their way of speaking to other nations of the world. Doesn't always have to be on a phone call or a Zoom call. They're saying we're going to use this technology. They don't have to come out and the person from the Treasury make some designation for XRP. They don't have to do that. What they're saying is we recognize this thing as a currency and we're going to be using it as such. For our people, for our small businesses, for our banks, and probably for the government. Am I getting late or are you getting earlier? I got early today, XRP number one. It's good to see you, my friend. All right, so that is ultimately the deal. That's good business, homeboy, indeed. Right, so that ultimately is what's going to determine the thing. So look, Gary Gensler getting in there, cool. Again, he's probably going to be a new SEC person. He's probably going to be, I think, more open to what Hester Peirce is suggesting about a quote unquote, if you will, regulatory sandbox going forward. The SEC lawsuit's already in there. It's in there. Ripple didn't get any regulatory sandbox. But going forward to help promote innovation, again, the CFTC is saying that they're welcoming innovation, right? They're welcoming it. And if the SEC doesn't come on board, you know, Congress is going to maybe have to step in and make some decisions, right? Are we going to fall behind because of the lack of regulatory clarity or not? And we're going to get the CFTC and the CFPB and other regulatory agencies saying we need to let this innovation do its thing. SEC has to get on board. That's why they started this little division, this little digital asset division that they started. So yeah, it's gonna be tough holding. It's gonna be tough seeing other stuff go up while we're kind of going sideways. But when the word comes, you know. I don't know if there's this, you know, this ultimate thing of they don't want us to hold it. I don't know. It's kind of late. We hold it. It's kind of late. I don't know if there is some way to drive this value up. If there's some ultimate thing that says, let's drive the value of this XRP up, and this is how we can do it. I don't know if there's a plan like that. I do know that David Schwartz said, in order for this to work, the price of XRP has to be high in order for it to work. In other words, for this, and this is just what I'm saying. I'm not saying David Schwartz said this. What I'm saying is that the central banks are going to want this price to be high. Because they can get more value from it. The XRP price being high benefits not just the holders, but the people using the platform. Because the less XRP you have to use. So in order for this to work, the price has to be high. How they get there, I don't know. I don't know how they get there. I really don't know. I don't know if having less XRP is going to be the answer. I don't know if burning escrow is going to be the answer. I don't know how it's going to get high. I just know that it is going to get high. It has to be high. I don't know when they figure out how it's going to happen, you know. But I believe if David Schwartz says in order for this to work, the price has to be high, that tells me that they know, whoever that is, whoever they is, whoever that looks like, they know. Central banks, I don't know. Governments, I don't know. Market makers, I don't know. They all know though, in order for this to work, all the money, derivatives, FX market, that doesn't matter, that the price has to be high. If you and I know it, they know it. How they get there, what plan do they have to get there? I don't know it. I just know that they know in order for it to work, the price has to be high. It can't be 30 cents or $3 or $10 or $50. Right? So I'm comfortable in that. And I'm comfortable in waiting on how they figure out how they're going to get to that. Because a speculative price could bring XRP to $10 and just in speculation. Just with the amount of money coming into the space and the amount of new people going to come into the space that are coming into the space. Jackie J says, after regulations, XRP is going through the roof. Everyone will use. Price will rise. Wow. Yeah. That's pretty typical too, Trevor. Trevor says, I told my best friend to buy XRP. He did. Then he just sold it because of the SEC news. So mad at him, LOL. I can't begin to, you know, I can't really think or speculate on why the lawsuit from the SEC. What I do know is they thought it out. They thought about what the SEC, what could happen. They thought about the probabilities of the price. They thought about all of it. They thought about how this could or may bring clarity. They thought about it. All of this has been thought out. All of it has been thought out, in my humble opinion. I don't know what the G7 nations and the G20 nations are saying about XRP. I don't know. I don't know if they're saying that you and I, that they have to get this out of the hands of retail investors. I don't know. I just know that there is no way in the heck that Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse and some people from Ripple are meeting with the IMF and meeting with central bankers from around the world for no reason. You just, again, Vitalik or Joseph Lubin wasn't in that room with those in Switzerland. Cardano, Hoskinson wasn't in the room. No one from XDC was in that room. No one from R3 was in the room. Not that that's not a great platform. There's a reason why Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple was there. There's a reason, right? There's a reason he was there. And again, if we know that in order for this to work, the price has to be high. If David Schwartz says that, do you think Brad Garlinghouse knows it? And perhaps, what's his name? Chris Larson knows? Do you think that they may have mentioned that in these meetings with other central banks? My guess is yes. My guess is yes. And I mean, we can only speculate whether or not they think they have to get this out of our hands. They did it with gold. They thought to themselves, we have to get gold out of the hands of the people. They did it, right? We weren't in on those discussions. But they did it. They came to a conclusion that they needed to get the gold out of your hands and your neighbor's hands or your parents' hands or your grandparents' hands or your great-grandparents' hands, and they did. They just decided that they needed to get it out of our hands. So that's a possibility. Is not as likely as gold, in my opinion, but it is a possibility. It is a possibility, and I'm thinking, that we need the XRP to be in the ecosystem, not in retail investors' hands. And how can we get XRP into the ecosystem? The market makers and takers, the Ripple PPs, whatever that's called, Ripple Provider Platform, something like that, RPPs. How do we do that? How do we get the XRP that is in the retail hands? The retail investors are not participating in the big XRP ecosystem. The XRP hodlers are hodling. Now, we may participate in the coil division of the XRP ecosystem. We might be participating in the cinnamon division of the XRP ecosystem or the Zoom app division of the XRP ecosystem, but we're not participating in the bigger XRP ecosystem. The bigger one, right? The derivatives and the FX, we're not participating in that ecosystem, all right? The bigger ecosystem, XRP ecosystem, we're not participating in that, guys. We have this asset for whatever the reason, and we're holding it. Trevor, I can't wait either, bro. Can't wait till we all share drinks together. I know, right? Richie, XRP Rich is here. How are you, my friends? Believe, everyone, we are in this together. Chris HQ Crypto says, flip of a switch moment is coming. TJ Jackson says, once this SEC case is resolved, the price skyrockets, in my opinion. I agree. I agree with you, TJ Jackson. Yeah. Interesting that she's calling for BTC regulation, didn't mention another asset. Willie Washington says, I remember when I came to your channel and we both agreed they are going to have to pay us for the XRP we have. Yep. Yep. Look, you know, I don't know if you guys know it, but every single XRP wallet is visible and accessible in terms of how many wallets, how many XRP are in those wallets, how many of those wallets are RPP wallets, how many of those wallets are exchange wallets, how many, you know, where this is Brad's wallet and this is Chris's wallet, and right, they got a good number of how many of these wallets are regular average Joe and Jane wallets. They got a good, right? They got a nice snapshot. They know. So, hey, look, this bull market happened at $10. This is the amount of wallets that went down or up. Hey, something happened with XRP at $15. This is the amount of wallets that went up or went down. They all know. They know. They know that they can figure it out. They know that they can figure it out. Chris, I did see a little bit about that. Siege, have you seen the Ripple defense team? 13 lawyers, the SEC's 3 lawyers. Why does the SEC only have 3 lawyers on this case, which is probably the biggest case in the history of digital assets? Why do they only have 3 lawyers? You ever think about that? Yeah, TJ Jackson, we watched that video. According to its white paper, BTC has failed. Lagarde doesn't see it as a sovereign. She says it's still very much so a speculative asset, yeah. And you never know. Look, if the G7s and G20s of the world come together and say, this is how we feel about BTC, it's over. Like, it's over. I don't know what anyone else would think differently. If they say it's over, it's over. If they say that. If they regulate it to some kind of, whatever kind of degree that they regulate it, that's what it is. Where can you go? You can't go anywhere and get around it, especially if they come together, multilaterally come together and say, this is what it is. Can't get around it. This is it. That's right. I know. That's funny, TJ Jackson. Ripple has more SEC members than the SEC currently has. Indeed. And I believe that they're going to call. I really do believe that they're going to look to the courts to say, we need, to change this test and bring about a new test. We gotta not get rid of the Howey test, but we need a test for the digital asset space. We need a test for this space. We're not talking about some Fortune 500 or some S&P 500 or some NASDAQ company looking to IPO. And we're not talking about that. Just digital assets, different game, different place, different thing. We need our own test. Right? We need our own test. And so ultimately, in my opinion, that's what we're going. That would be the best case scenario. XRP as a currency, and we get a test. Ooh, that would be outstanding. Let's see what's going on with the market right now. 34,700 for BTC. It's going up a little bit. XRP at 30 cents. Cool. Dots at $10. So, the market's kind of doing its thing. We'll see what happens. I'm waiting on the sidelines, just like Alex Mashinsky said, waiting, not to get more BTC. Probably not. But to get more of the greatest digital asset ever created, increase the position on reserve protocol. That would be great. And maybe even VeChain. What's VeChain doing right now? It's probably 2 point something cents. Yep, 2.4 cents. Cool. It's up 335% for the year. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, ANKR, I'm telling you, I don't know. I just think that we'll have to see what's going to go on with ANKR. I really like the platform. So that's kind of it, guys. That's it in a nutshell. Gary Gensler, my answer is I believe he's a friend of the digital asset space. And I do believe that. And I think, you know, he may be taking off, you know, taking office with a new, well, with a Howey version in digital assets test, right? Let's call it the Ripple test, right? They got a new division over there, the SEC. Let's get a Ripple test for that division, for the digital asset division. Let's get that test in place. He can come in. I don't think he's anti-crypto. It's going to be great to see how this goes. Hopefully we can get some news sooner rather than later, guys. Hopefully we can get that, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. This morning, TJ Jackson and Chris HQ Crypto, Yaz King, XRP #1, Willie Washington. We appreciate you guys being here. Trevor LeConte, appreciate you being here, my friend. I hope I'm saying your last name right. Jackie J and Chrissy Fouts. Jason, thanks for hanging out today, all the way from the Dominican Republic. Fabio, Saturn Net, I bought Charlie's bags. Edward Benson, Richard Franz. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today. John 31620, appreciate you being here. Logan and Andre, we appreciate you guys being here, guys. Listen, never ever forget this. Old money doesn't want you to win. Old money doesn't want you to win. You gotta understand that. The digital asset space is our chance to win, guys. Hodl strong. Hodl strong. I believe that the greater the struggle, the greater the challenge, the greater the rewards, and we're almost there, guys. All right, guys, listen, thank you so much for hanging out this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. See you tonight on Wealth Wednesdays for sure, and have a great night. See you guys.